Hi everyone, it's Judy and I'm here to help walk you through a exciting presentation that will provide you tools that you can use to teach online. And what you have in front of you is something called a Prezi, P-R-E-Z-I, and that is a new and exciting way to present content to students, similar to PowerPoint, but with a lot more bells and whistles and functionality. So the Prezi presentation, um, learning how to collaborate online, is focusing on Adobe Acrobat content. So lots of new terms for you to learn and lots of exciting things for us to do together. So just to review, you are watching a presentation conducted on Prezi, and we're going to learn about the technology called Adobe Connect, which is a way for us to connect with students online and see the student as well as communicate with them. It's really exciting, and I think it'll be really beneficial and helpful to your concerns about teaching online, seeing students, being able to evaluate and assess them. So the first thing that I want you to do at your computer is to go to the website that I have listed here on the Prezi. You can use the Prezi and it will take you to this web page. This is essentially a replica of what you would use in your individual classes to work with students and to be able to see them, to be able to talk to them, to be able to interact with other students. And the amount of folks you can have in here is equivalent to the amount that we have in our average practice classes. So it's really an equivalent technology that I think you're going to really enjoy. For the purposes of this presentation though, as I said, I want you to go to adobeconnect.oit.ohio.edu/socialwork, SWK. And you should get a screen that looks like the one that I have right here in the presentation. What I'm going to ask that you do is I'm going to ask that you pause this presentation until you get that screen up on your computer. That way, I know that you're following along and I know that you understand what I'm talking about. So go ahead and pause, and when you get there and you have this exact screen up there, restart the presentation. So now that you have the screen up, how do you know what students are in the classroom with you or not? This is a blow up of the small side of your screen. If we go back a minute, this is a blow up of this area right here. I wanted to make that clearer for you. This tells you that you are the host and that you have several participants in the classroom with you. All of those students are online right now. Depending on how you structure your class, you may just have a voice connection with them, or you may have a video connection with them, which would allow you to see the student, which I know is one of the concerns we discussed when I did the needs assessment. So considering that all of us are doing this presentation, you should see under participants other faculty members because you're all logging in the computer lab, hopefully, and doing this tutorial together. I have presented you with an option of how to share your screen. Now, let's discuss first what or when you would want to do that. If you have a presentation like I'm giving right now, or a PowerPoint presentation, or a document that you would want all your students to see, similar to you passing out a piece of paper in the classroom, what you will do is double click on that center picture there that says Share My Screen. Then the drop-down menu that looks like the one I have here will appear. And you can share what's on your desktop, what's in an application, or a window, whatever works for you. This would enable you to, say, present a chart or a diagram and have the students see what is on your computer and discuss things accordingly. If the student is giving a presentation, which you can do on Adobe Connect, you can see what is on an individual student's screen, any of them. Professional courtesy is, of course, that we would ask permission, and then you simply move your mouse over their name and a small drop-down menu will appear, analogous to what I have in front of you on that screenshot. You would select to request their screen share, and then their screen will show up on your computer. Again, this makes it really nice and easy for students to give presentations, to present on a case, to share something cool they found on the internet or some resource they found, and it is just another helpful tool on this Adobe Connect. So why don't you pause for a minute, sort of review what we've done, and play around with sharing each other's screens, sharing your documents, things of that nature. I'll give you some time to do that, and then when you're ready, you can restart this presentation. Across the top of your bar on Adobe Connect looks analogous to the picture I have here. And each of these comes with a drop-down menu. Each of these items will give you more options and want to or present you with too much this first run through, but I will tool let you manage who's allowed to see your meeting, who's allowed to access your meeting. It helps you set up audio. You can record a meeting so that when you're finished having a class, you could then post that class up online for anyone who missed it. You can go and make the screen a full screen. There's tons of options. Again, there are, as I said, tons of options under each of these, but I did not want to overwhelm you too much the first time. Layout is typically how your screen appears. Pods and audio, not something you're going to use too much. It manages exactly what it says it does. The speaker is your volume. The mic, of course, refers to your microphone. The one next to that's the camera. And then the last one is used a lot with students, because this literally, if you're giving a conversation and you're discussing something with student A and student B has a question, they click on that and it literally raises their hand so for you to see whether or not they have a question or a concern. Just like in the classroom, students can chat with each other, which is another one of these sidebars, or make notes. The endless options of this really are amazing. But however, in today's presentation, given the kind of time constraints I know you guys have, and also given the lack of exposure you've had to some of these technologies, I wanted to take it really slow. And I wanted to have it allocated for you to have the time that you needed to go over this presentation. So I put some best practices here, using a microphone, having maybe like a TA who's also in the room, the Adobe Connect room, watching the chats and questions. And of course, it goes without saying, always to remain a professional. This concludes the presentation portion of our little workshop. Now, again, I'd like you to take the time and play with Adobe Connect, get familiar with it, potentially use it in lieu of a class session, maybe in spring quarter. and then let's have a dialogue as to how it goes and what snafus you have and how I can help you further. I hope this was helpful.